Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, one person is dead after an explosion at a saltwater plant in Westhoff. And the Dali cargo ship that collided into the Key Bridge in Baltimore is now making its way back to port. Plus, the Iranian president died Sunday hours after his helicopter carrying several leaders crashed into a mountain.
And that heat is going to continue today and for the rest of this week, but not only that, so is the moderate air quality and the hazy skies. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
5 Crossroads teams remain alive between baseball and softball, and it's a new week for the postseason. We have their matchups coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 21st day of May 2024. The time is now 6:31 on our Tuesday morning, and it's Talk Like Yoda Day.
Talk Like Yoda Day. Can I?
Take it away, Parker.
Talk like Yoda, I can. I can give the weather. Oh, I can't. That's not right. Give the weather, I can.
Hot today, is it?
I'm sorry, but
Parker.
See, I hope I'm not being too extra, but I love Yoda. Yoda's
You
awesome.
went really hard on that.
I'm sorry. Apologies, y'all. It's too early.
All right, Parker. Well, what does the force have planned for us today?
Hot weather we will have again today. I think we're going to have lots more hot weather for the rest of this week. My producer's laughing at me over here. I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's a little early, but it's Talk Like Yoda Day. We've got to talk like Yoda. Well, good morning, folks. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live here in Eastern Victoria. We've got another plenty humid morning. In fact, look at that. It looks just a tad bit foggy out there. That's because y'all might see a really thin layer of fog, kind of like that out there this morning. But like I said, it is plenty warm out there, 79 degrees. That is a summertime low temperature for y'all. But your dew point 1 degree off that temperature, you've got a 97% humidity. So that's what's bringing you a 3-mile visibility. At least that's what this computer is saying. So please be careful out on the roads this morning. But we are all loving, or at least if you like that warm weather, we are all loving the upper 70s and some of the low 80s along the coast because you're next to 82 degree water. But like I said, some of us seeing a little bit of fog out there, not too bad. But coming our way today, we got lots more hot weather, and for the rest of this week, some more hazy, humid skies. We're going to take a look at all that more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. One person is dead after an explosion in Westhoff last Friday. 41-year-old Larry Hendricks of Beeville died in the explosion at the Advantic saltwater disposal plant. Hendricks worked at the plant, and authorities are still investigating the cause of the explosion, which later resulted in a fire. An autopsy is underway. 2 candidates are in the runoff for State Representative District 30. A.J. Louderback has more than 40 years of experience in law enforcement and has served 5 terms as Jackson County Sheriff. He's also served as the Executive Director of the Texas Sheriff's Regional Alliance and is an advocate for securing the southern border and reestablishing national sovereignty.
We feel good. We feel that the campaign has progressed with our message. We think that the overall outlook of the rural nature of this district, combined with my values, is doing exactly what we think we should do.
Louderback is running against Jeff Bouknight, the former mayor of Victoria, who received an endorsement from both Governor Greg Abbott and the District 30 State Representative Jeannie Morrison. Bouknight wants to focus on border security and business and economic development. The Dali cargo ship that collided into the Key Bridge in Baltimore is now making its way back to the port. The operation to remove the ship from the crash site began before dawn Monday as several tugboats worked together to pull the Dali back into the shipping channel at high tide. The Dali lost power and steering control 8 weeks ago before crashing into a bridge support, causing the bridge to collapse. The collapse killed 6 construction workers, crippling the port and cutting off Interstate 695. The ship is being moved from its location in the Patapsco River back to a marine terminal at a pace of about 1 mile per hour. Now to Turks and Caicos, where Tyler Renrich could learn his fate today. He's one of several Americans charged with carrying ammunition into the tropical nation. U.S. lawmakers now pleading for leniency.
This morning, one of the Americans facing prison time in Turks and Caicos over ammunition in their luggage is speaking out ahead of his plea hearing later today.
I have a lot of fear and anxiety. The best outcome to this is that the judge will find leniency and compassion in the situation and steer away from that 12-year sentence and be able to give a sentence that is less than that and a fine, hopefully.
Tyler Winrick is one of 5 Americans recently charged with carrying small amounts of ammunition into the tropical nation. Winrick was found with just 2 rounds. He said he mistakenly left in his backpack after a trip to a gun range. Yesterday, a bipartisan delegation of U.S. lawmakers traveled to Turks and Caicos to ask for leniency. Senator John Fetterman, who was part of the delegation, saying, "I left these meetings optimistic that we can get this resolved and look forward to working with my colleagues in Congress and TCI officials to bring these American citizens home." Just last week, a grandmother from Florida was arrested at the airport after 2 bullets were found in her luggage.
I was afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen because I couldn't believe they was in there.
3 other men are also waiting for the courts to decide their fate. One could receive his sentence as soon as Friday. Turks and Caicos passed strict gun laws 2 years ago after a rise in violence and gun trafficking. The new laws mean the Americans face a minimum sentence of 12 years plus a fine, but the court can make exceptions. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and the country's foreign minister were found dead Sunday, hours after their helicopter crashed. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has the final say in the Shia theocracy, quickly named the vice president as caretaker and insisted the government remain in control. But the death marks yet another blow to a country beset by pressures both at home and abroad. Iran has offered no cause for the crash. The helicopter fell into a mountainous terrain during a sudden and intense fog. The crash comes as the Israel-Hamas war roils the region. Iran backed the Hamas-led attack that started the conflict facing the region. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now, let's take a look at our clock. It is 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Governor Greg Abbott added Calhoun County to the presidential disaster declaration.
I'm ABC's Em Nguyen in Washington. Former President Trump is back in court today after tensions boiled over yesterday. The latest in the dramatic scenes in this hush money trial coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that heat that's coming our way this weekend.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information about a wanted person. Felix Rivera is wanted for bond forfeiture on original charges of manufactured delivery of a controlled substance and tampering with evidence. Rivera is 30 years old, 5'6", 160 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He has tattoos on his face, chest, stomach, back, and both arms. If you have any information about Felix Rivera, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With Victoria Crime Stoppers, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero. Plenty cloudy out there. Look how overcast it looks out there. But that's actually, don't be deceived. Actually, some of that is because of the hazy skies that we have out there, and also a little bit because it's just a tad bit, tiny bit foggy out there this morning. Right now, 78 degrees in Cuero, but with a dew point 2 degrees off that temperature, got a 95% humidity, and that's what's bringing you this 5-mile visibility. So please be careful. Some of the lower elevations might be seeing maybe a little bit thicker fog this morning. But if you're seeing your kiddos out the door, it's going to be just like it is right now. All of us in the upper 70s, some of the low 80s along the Media Coast. But as they head back home, the clouds are going to be on the decrease, and it's going to be just like yesterday's weather, getting up to about 93 this afternoon with plenty of sunshine today. But in the background today is actually going to be just a tiny bit breezy, gusting up to about 25 miles an hour. That's going to bring you a high grass pollen and air quality that's moderate for today because of all the agricultural fires in Mexico. And then UV index is going to be very high when that sun comes out in the afternoon. But we got plenty more heat and humid weather to come this way. And we're going to take a look at all that more in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now we're going to look at sports with Zach Brown.
To round number 4 we go in the postseason out on the diamond, starting with Victoria East, who took their series over Brownsville Veterans Memorial. Now they're going to get the Leander Rouse Raiders. Game 1 Thursday at the Northeast Sports Park in San Antonio at 7 p.m. Game 2, same location, but the game's going to start at 5 p.m. because if necessary, Game 3 will be 30 minutes after Game 2. History in Vanderbilt for the Industrial Cobras with their close victory in their one-game playoff over Hallettsville. This is the furthest Cobra baseball has ever been, and they will get the Falfurrias fighting Jersey's Game 1 Saturday in Corpus at Cavness Stadium. First pitch, 1 p.m. After their thrilling victory over the Shiner Comanches, the Ganado Indians will get the Thorndale Bulldogs. Game 1 in their series is going to be at the Hallettsville Sports Complex at 7 p.m. Game 2 would be Thursday in Bastrop, and if necessary, Game 3 would return to the Hallettsville Sports Complex. We have a fun one on our hands with district rivals Shiner and Weimar going at it. Shiner beat them both times in the regular season in 2 close games, but Weimar has knocked Shiner out of the postseason the last 2 years. Shiner hoping that the third time is the charm, and last but certainly not least, the Hallettsville ladies, much like Shiner in the hunt for a state title, they got revenge on Santa Gertrudis. Now they get a team they dominated in the regular season in Columbus. Game 1 is going to be in Hallettsville this Wednesday night at 6 p.m. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Now to an unprecedented trial continuing in New York. Former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. Today could be the last day of testimony ahead of closing arguments.
This morning, Donald Trump set to be back in court for his hush money trial.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
It comes after star witness Michael Cohen finished testimony. Trump's defense attorney Todd Blanche fixated on destroying his credibility, getting Cohen to admit he'd stolen $30,000 from the Trump Organization. Blanche's team also calling on 2 witnesses, including longtime Trump ally Robert Costello, who advised Cohen in the days after Cohen's hotel room and office were raided by the FBI. Costello testifying Cohen was manic at the time, saying, "My life is shattered." Costello said he told Cohen all of his problems would go away if he just told the feds the truth about Trump and the deal with Stormy Daniels. But he said Cohen insisted Trump knew nothing about those payments, that he did this on his own. But the trial quickly devolved into chaos after Costello was heard making comments under his breath, rolling his eyes and calling the proceedings ridiculous. The judge saying, "If you don't like my ruling, you don't give me side-eye and you don't roll your eyes. Do you understand that?" Costello glared at him. "Are you staring me down?" the judge asked.
Don't make yourself a sideshow to what could be a very important message that Michael Cohen lied. He lost that opportunity to a large extent.
Outside the court, Trump calling on the judge to dismiss the case.
But you saw what happened, what just took place in that court, and hopefully the motion to dismiss this trial will go through, because this trial is a disaster for our country.
Costello is testifying again this morning. The trial is expected to wrap up today without former President Trump taking the stand. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. Today we want to know, do you think former President Trump should have testified during his trial? Okay, let's take a look. It's split right down the middle. 50% of you say yes, and the rest of you say no. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. Governor Greg Abbott added Calhoun County to the presidential disaster declaration for severe weather and flooding that started on April 26. The National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado hit near Port Lavaca last Monday with maximum sustained winds of 105 miles an hour. The tornado traveled for over 13 miles. The National Weather Service also says damaging straight-line winds around 85 miles an hour happened on the south side of Port Lavaca toward Magnolia Beach last Monday. Straight-line winds of 60 miles an hour were also reported in Port Alto. The time is now 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come, the EPA is warning of a cybersecurity threat to public water systems.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm thinking we're going to have about the same weather as yesterday coming away today. In fact, looking at yesterday's weather, we get up to 93 degrees. We are just 3 degrees under your record temperature, and we're above our average by 5 degrees. And we're going to have plenty more hot above average temperatures coming away this week. And like I said, about the same thing coming away today, getting about 93 here in Victoria. But out west, look over the Rio Grande. They're in the low hundreds, 103 in Laredo today. But we've got, like I said, plenty more hot weather just like that coming away this week, and actually getting hotter as we go into this weekend and also on Memorial Day. And you're probably wondering, where is all this heat coming from? It's not even summer yet. It's actually not summer technically until June 1st. Well, all that heat is coming from the high pressure system that just returned to the Gulf, and in the summer we like to call that the Dome of Doom, because it's a big air mass of hot air that's not letting the hot air mass underneath escaping the atmosphere. But then going into the late weekend, there's going to be an upper level low coming off the Rockies. It's going to bring us just a slight bit of temperature cool down going into next week. But look at this Sunday here, we could be near 100. Out west, they could be in the mid hundreds. And on Monday, yes, this is what the computer thinks, but I'm thinking the upper 90s. We're going to take a look at all that more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Environmental Protection Agency is warning of a cybersecurity threat to public water systems. The agency says 70% of the water utilities it inspected don't meet the standards from the Safe Drinking Water Act to prevent attacks. Some of the issues include outdated passwords and easily compromised login information. EPA and national security officials say letters have been sent to governors across the country about the threats and the importance of taking action to repair the issues and create stronger security protections. Officials say China, Russia, and Iran have all already disrupted water systems with cyber attacks. Red Lobster has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy after failing to return to pre-pandemic sales levels. Red Lobster currently operates 551 locations in the U.S. and 27 in Canada, and those will remain open for now. However, it did close 93 underperforming stores in May and is asking a bankruptcy court to reject 108 more of its leases to further slim down its footprint. The company was founded in 1968 and employs about 36,000 people. It reported a loss of $76 million last year, partly due to a disastrous endless shrimp promotion that benefited Thai Union, its sole shrimp provider and a partial owner of the company. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could soon have a warrant out for his arrest. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could soon have a warrant out for his arrest. The International Criminal Court's prosecutor is seeking one. The court is also targeting Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and 3 Hamas leaders. Here's what that means for the accused and what happens next. Israeli and Hamas leaders are denouncing that ICC prosecutors move the charges against them include war crimes and crimes against humanity. Now it's up to a panel of ICC judges to decide if enough evidence exists to go to trial. If the judges find enough evidence, they could issue a voluntary summons or an arrest warrant. The U.S. State Department argues the court has no jurisdiction in the matter. More than 569 tons of humanitarian assistance has been delivered to Gaza. Crews delivered aid across a temporary floating pier Tuesday morning. Aid deliveries began arriving at a U.S.-built pier Friday as Israel continues to face pressure to allow more supplies into the besieged coastal enclave. The UN said that 10 truckloads of food aid transported from the pier by UN contractors were received Friday at a World Food Program warehouse in Gaza. However, not all aid has reached warehouses. On Saturday, only 5 truckloads made it to the warehouse after 11 others were cleaned out by Palestinians during the journey through an area that had lacked access to aid. A crazy scene on a Walton County beach in Florida when a small plane had to make an emergency landing. It happened on Miramar Beach on Monday afternoon. Authorities say the Cessna aircraft had to make a sudden landing due to an engine failure. Reports of the plane took off around 3:54 p.m. and landed at 4 p.m. The plane is reportedly owned by Destin Flight Works, and there were no injuries reported on the beach, and there is no word yet on when the plane will be removed. Today, the westbound lanes of Airline will close for tree trimming, weather permitting. The closure will start at the Navarro intersection from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The left turn lane will remain open, but traffic will be unable to turn right onto Navarro Street or go straight. Drivers should exercise caution in the area and obey road signs and barricades posted through the work zone. To avoid traffic delays, the city recommends seeking alternate routes. Early voting continues through Friday. You can vote at the Dr. Petty Dodson Public Health Center. That's at 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. Early voting hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. New occupancy limits in College Station highlight Texas A&M students' housing woes. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now we have time for a final check of weather with Parker. Parker, you said that summer starts June 1st, but I thought the first day of summer was on my birthday on June 21st.
Yes, so the astronomical first day of summer is on the 21st, but the meteorological first day of summer is June 1st. But that already feels like summer out there this morning. In fact, if you're tuning in, you're looking live here in Port Lavaca. Look how cloudy it is out there. But those clouds are going to decrease just like yesterday. I think we're going to have just about the same weather as yesterday as well. Right now, like I said, plenty warm out there, 82 degrees in Port Lavaca, and plenty humid as well, sitting at 94%. But like I said, plenty of clouds over us. Those will be on the decrease today, getting to mostly sunny skies this afternoon. And like I said, about the same weather, getting up to about 93 in Victoria, a little bit hotter in Cuero, getting up to about 96 over there, just about 30 minutes away, and a little bit cooler in Port Lavaca, right around 90 for today. But like I said, we've got plenty more hot, hazy, and humid weather to come. Some of us could be in the low to mid 100s next week for Memorial Day.
Well, Parker, it is getting really hot out there. You know, I just got a new bottle of sunblock. It's so important.
Yes, very important, especially with that UV being quite high.
You may want to see how you can identify those scary little melanoma spots too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
It's very important. So stay safe out there, use the bug spray, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.